Well, everybody, welcome back to Ventthis. I am here again with Paul. You can't get rid of me, and you can't get rid of Paul. We're here again, whether you like it or not. And today's episode is titled, Are You Insane? And we also have more whack events, a event about a house or a wedding, event about how a cat ruined a party, and tipping. But before we get into that good stuff, Paul, you got anything, or should we just get right into the vents?
Oh, I can't. I mean, honestly, those sound so good, and I can't wait to get to the tipping because
Yeah,
I think we're all going to be on the same page.
yeah.
I'll refrain until we get to it. I'll save my 20% thought on that till we get there.
All right, well, Loretta, girl, hit it.
Girl.
Okay, Venters, I will make sure my daughters listen to this episode. My daughter wants a big wedding and the thrills. I said, why don't I give you the money for a down payment on a house and let's skip the big wedding? You guessed it. She is really upset and thinks I'm overstepping my boundaries. What the hell is she thinking? She wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for her mother and me. I'm stepping over the boundary line? Come on, Venters, what do you think? Signed, still in shock.
Whoa.
What do you think, Chrissy?
First of all, Paul, I looked at your face. You look like you were about to implode from this vent. What I think is this. I'll just quickly. I think you're not being smart by not taking a down payment for a house. Weddings, yes, I had a big wedding, and it was great. But housing prices today, especially in California, I'm not sure where this venter is from, are outrageous. You cannot afford to buy a house here. Oh, I think almost anywhere because of the interest rates and all the inflation. So if my parents said, I'll give you down payment for a house that you'll live in for years and you can upgrade and have kids in, or a wedding that's like a big party anyway, which you can do at a later date with your friends and family, then I think you're making a huge mistake. I think these kids should not be upset at their parents. It was very generous of them to offer. Some people have to pay for their own weddings. These parents are willing to pay for the wedding and a house or a house. So I think these kids are making a mistake. My 2 cents.
I agree with you, Chrissy. I agree. And it did sound like, didn't he say that like the daughter was kind of pissed?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like instead of paying for her wedding or her house, maybe get her a toaster as a wedding gift. You know what? Because that's what resentment earns. But like, what the hell is she talking about? I heard this same thing happen, Chrissy. My buddy, I went to an Indian American wedding, not an American Indian wedding. That'd be very different. But an Indian. So I guess they're both American. Anyway, my buddy's white, and he married an Indian girl. So they had a double wedding. The Indian weddings are very elaborate and they go
Yeah.
multiple days and it's a whole thing. It's really awesome. And so they did this huge wedding. Anyway, a lot of Indian parents and, big procession. I mean, you throw an Indian wedding, it's going to be some Indians there. There had to be 150 people at least, 200. I don't know. So,
Wow.
I'm outside having a drink with some of the dads. One of them tells me, as we talk about what an amazing wedding, he goes, this is how we do it. Indian parents have to throw big weddings for their kids. He told me he offered his daughter $150,000
Wow.
to put toward the down payment of a house. Exactly the same conversation. He said, "Hun, why don't you skip the wedding? I'll give you 150 grand to put as a down payment on a house. And then you'll start to have a house, wouldn't that?" And she said, "What are you, nuts? Absolutely not. I'm putting that toward a wedding." And they threw $150,000, maybe more wedding. Now, to me, again, there was a previous episode where we said men and women are different about toilet paper and this and that. I don't know if it's always the guys versus, and there's a generational difference. It's the daughter. Only a daughter would rather have a $150,000 wedding. I don't think even a groom would be like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's throw 150K out to it. It's a party for a day. It's a
Yeah.
party for a day. The reason photographers charge so much is because pictures are the only thing you're still going to have when that party's over. And a few receipts that add up to hundred. This could be,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the dad's got the right plan. I don't know. Maybe there could be some compromise. A lot of people are doing the bohemian kind of taco truck in the backyard of someone
Yeah.
who's got a big yard. Spend 10 grand. 10 grand will get you a lot of rented chairs and a few tents, like a DJ who's worth half a damn. I don't know, 10, 12 grand, and then put the rest on a house.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think I don't know if this Ventthis daughter discussed it with her groom,
I can be sure that she did not.
guys, because maybe he would think, let's get the house instead of the wedding. I don't know. But she shouldn't be mad at her parents. They're still being generous. I
Oh,
agree. Yeah. What,
and
Paul?
no, no, I'm just grimacing in
Yeah.
disgust, but I am agreeing.
Yeah.
Do you know
So,
what though? You know what's really gross, Chrissy? You know what's really gross?
yeah.
Part of the reason why this girl probably feels the way she does. And it's sick. It's twisted that this is the way the world works. It is, but you know why she's probably the smartest of this whole crew? Because
What?
she knows, hold on, the daughter knows if her dad has enough money to spend on a wedding for her, that it would amount to the down payment of a house. She knows after the wedding is done, that dad isn't going to let her live nowhere. He's still going to give her the money for a down payment on the house. She is so good at being spoiled. This is not her first rodeo. She sees the long con and she is playing him like a fiddle. God damn it. God damn it, Chrissy. She's going to get it all. It's like at the end of The Price is Right when there's the showcase showdown and one person blows it and the other one wins both grand prizes. She knows she can win both grand prizes.
Well, you know what?
Ugh.
I'm sure the
No.
parents, all parents love their children and want to give them everything and the best.
Yeah.
But there comes a point too when you have to say, I think, mom and dad, I don't want you to do it and it's expensive. If they say, yes, I want to
Oh,
give you a wedding, you can't expect them, if that's the way she is, to give them a wedding and a home. At some point, the kids have to say, no, 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 it's just too much. You worked your whole life. You're not going to give me $300,000. I mean, I know some parents that might do that, but come on, the kids have to speak up too. I think that's taking advantage.
and you know where it roots in. If we go real deep, I would say I think it roots in insecurity, Chrissy. Why does
Maybe,
someone really need to spend that much money on a wedding so they can show their friends that they're important? They can show their friends they have money, and
yeah,
then their wedding can be as good as their friend's wedding, arguably, hopefully, better than their friend's wedding, and it becomes competitive. It's sick.
yeah,
It's sick and disgusting. It has nothing to do with celebrating these people's love
yeah,
and their commitment to each other. I think, honestly, if we're being real, I think weddings should happen at the 20th anniversary. That's when that, because you know what? It's a celebration of success at that point. Why would you spend 150 grand on a wager that someone you met 18 months ago is 100% guaranteed to be the person you'll spend the rest of your life with? That's a fucking ridiculous bet. It's like getting an A your first semester of college and being like, I'm probably going to be a doctor, more than likely. What are you, nuts? Your team wins, Chrissy, Buffalo wins their first game of the season. And you're like, I'm putting 150 grand on Buffalo to win the Super Bowl. You would never do that.
you are
It's
so right.
insanity. You don't know this person. Just consider it wild that you're going to start sharing your social with them and put them on your credit moving forward. Let that be enough.
Yeah.
Don't put all this money into someone you barely know. 2 years ago, this person was a stranger on the street, and now you're saying, I'm going to spend house money to cut a cake with them in front of a bunch of people I know and a bunch of people I don't because everyone got a +1.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Wedding gifts at 2 years. Yeah, good call. You know what sound engineer Gary just pointed out? The wedding gifts should come at 2 years. I don't want to give you some
That's a,
shit that a family's going to use if you're not going to be a family. You're just going to be some divorcee
you know,
pawning my shit on Craigslist.
Paul, this is genius. Why not? Let's set a precedent. Why? That's such a great point. You don't know what's going to happen after 5 years, 2 years. The big party should happen after five, not at the beginning.
Thank you.
I'm with you. And Gary's right. Maybe get the wedding gifts, 2 or 3 years later, because you're celebrating this wonderful union.
Show me some proof as a gift giver. I want some proof.
Yeah.
Give me something to work with
Love it.
here. You
Love it.
know? God damn it. Yeah.
Okay.
Most small businesses don't survive the first 3 years. And if you get past five, your business is probably going to work. Maybe
Yeah.
marriages should be treated the same way. You want to have a wedding, you want me to go. You show me an Instagram post of one of your early dates that is at least 5 years ago. It's a listed,
You are
it's a lasting way. Yeah.
you're so right. This is great. You're a genius, Paul.
God damn. Well, I think we're all in this together. This was a
Yeah.
collective. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then fine. Then when I go to your wedding, I'm not gonna feel like, oh, like I like to joke.
Well,
I did it to a friend of mine, when she was getting stressed about her wedding. I said, no, I get it. You want everything to go right. You're only gonna do this a few times in life, so you really want it to go well. And
a
she
few
did not like
times.
it. She didn't like it.
I love it. I love it.
She is
Yeah.
divorced, by the way, that woman I said it to.
All right. Well, I think we did good on that, Vent. Let's go
Yeah.
with the second one. Let's go, Loretta. Girl, go.
I was invited to a party with my good friend. I didn't know the people throwing the party, but my friend did. We get there, and this person has a cat. I am highly allergic to cats, so I had to leave. The host tells my friend that I was very rude for leaving her alone and that I am not a good friend. Am I rude, or is this person a numbnut? Signed, always sneezing.
Always
Hmm.
sneezing. I love that.
Yeah. What do you think,
Um,
Chrissy?
well, I I mean, what are you going to do? I am allergic to cats. I
Yeah.
always ask wherever I go, do you have dogs? I'm great with. I love dogs. And
Yeah, because they're
we're hoping
better.
to get one soon. Yeah. But
Yeah.
cats, I mean, I was at my cousin's house years ago. He lived in a beautiful condo in Long Beach. And he said, oh, I cleaned everything. Don't worry about it. I got there 2 hours later. I almost gonna die. My husband was telling me that my throat closed up. I was breathing barely. I had to leave. So I understand the risk you take if there's a cat, and you do have to leave. So I think it's wrong that the host said, "Oh, your friend's terrible." He probably said to his friend, "Look, there's a cat here. I gotta go," and she probably understood, or he understood. Come on, this host is just causing trouble.
This host sounds like a typical cat owner.
Yeah,
Absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Dogs are better than cats. They shouldn't even be compared. It's not even, it's rude that they're even compared. They're two different experiences. One's your friend and the other one resents you. That's nice. And then you get the kind of people who can't take a clue, a social clue. Your animal avoids you when you come home. Maybe that's something that doesn't like you and you're forcing the relationship. And how is this host acting? Someone comes over and avoids them, and what do? Oh no, no, no. I think this is shit. And look, if someone leaves your home because your home has made them physically ill, don't point the finger at them. Just take it on the chin that maybe your shit is gross. Maybe you need to start, vacuuming once in a while. Maybe you're a jerk. Maybe your house is gross. Maybe it's pet dander that causes that reaction. Maybe you don't have a clean home.
yeah.
Maybe you live in filth. Maybe your whole place smells like a litter box that you don't empty often enough. Maybe you should go online. Just try having a dog. I don't know. And the person who left, okay, here's the thing. If you're that allergic to cats, but you're still going to hang out, with people then maybe, I think I've said it before. I said about flights. Carry some Claritin in your purse. I don't think it's the worst idea. A Boy Scout is always prepared. have a little Claritin in your purse for when it happens. Cause I've seen people get the eyes and I feel terrible. But at the same time, maybe the person was like, oh, I don't want to be here. This party sucks. I'm not even allergic to cats, but you know what would be a great out? I don't know, these 10 cats that are hanging all over everyone. I'm going to say that shit's making my throat close up. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to try to make it my polite thing.
Hey,
Because the person also could have gone, let's be real. This person could have gone right down the street. There's a Walgreens, there's a CVS, there's a Rite Aid on every corner. They could have gone down to Ralph's and bought some Claritin and been back in 20 minutes and enjoyed the party. The bottom
well,
line was they didn't enjoy the party because it was thrown by a cat owner.
that's a
The party
good point.
sucked.
That's a good excuse to
They didn't
use.
come
If
back.
Yeah, if you're having a lousy time, all you got to say is, "Hey, I got to go because I love it."
The
Yeah.
damn cat. Oh,
Yeah.
do you guys have a cat? No, we don't have a cat. You know what it is? Previous tenant. Oh, maybe. Yeah, no one knows if the previous tenant did. Did you change the rugs when you moved in? I don't know if that. Yeah, it's, you know what? I'm telling you, it's that dander. That shit gets in the. Ah, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having a great time. This food's awesome. Ugh, sorry. Is there a cat on the fifth floor?
Yeah. Let's go on to the next vent, Loretta. That was a good one.
What the hell is going on in the world today? Everybody has a tip jar, even online. You cannot escape them, and to make matters worse, you end up feeling guilty for not tipping. Who the hell asks for tips if you order tools online? And no, I am not cheap or selfish.
No tips for tools?
Yeah. No tips for
Tools. I would if this Venter could just shoot in like a screenshot or even just give us the website where that was. I would love to post a screenshot. Uh, the tipping has become so ridiculous. I think most people agree it's become ridiculous. But if you have a tool website, please do send that to us at whatever our handles are here. We get a million of them, but yeah, because that's insane. We're not even talking food anymore. Yuck.
Yeah, you can they're almost everywhere. A
Yeah.
tip jar.
What do you think of counter service tipping,
Well,
Chrissy?
that's the thing. We talked about this once before in another event a
Yeah, I'm
while
sure we
back.
did. It felt familiar.
Yeah, I mean, you go to like a Subway or a Jersey Mike's, and they're putting that sandwich together in front of you, and then when you check out, they're like 10%, 20%, whatever tip, and you think to yourself, well, do I always tip. I feel guilty not doing it, so I always do it. But I have to think to myself, you didn't bring it to my table. You didn't get me stuff that I needed, like an extra fork or ketchup
No,
or nothing. All
no.
you did was stack some stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, it's a little, it's over the top in my opinion. I think I mean, I know these kids probably don't make a lot of money,
Yeah. No.
but they
But
are
they should be
making,
kids. You notice how you casually said these kids? That's
yeah,
the problem, is that you get adults doing kids' jobs,
that's true.
and then they get all pissed off that they get kids' money for doing kids' jobs.
Yeah.
It should be kids doing some of these jobs. If you're pissed off as an adult that you're getting kid money for a kid job, go get an adult job.
But also, aren't you getting minimum wage? I mean, what's the minimum?
In California, they're getting like 15 bucks an hour plus the tips.
Yeah. And they're doing
Bullshit.
8-hour shifts. Now we're putting tips. I mean,
No.
I get it, but I just think it's getting out of hand.
But what I do, I'm judgy now because I've just won my head. I have no remorse for clicking zero tip, not even custom, not custom. What am I going to put in 100 bucks? No, zero. And then I look at them because I'm a social guy. I'm a chatty guy. I just like to talk because I like to be neighborly. And then I watch because I know some people are friendly and we're having a good chat, but I watch to see if their face drops when they look down and see that I hit no tip. Because right as I hit enter or hit the no tip, I know their eyes kind of dart down to see what's the final. And if their smile falls off, then I'm like, you're the shitty person. You're the shitty person. You should know I don't tip at the grocery store. I don't tip the cashier at Best Buy. This is not a tipping situation. I was being friendly to you as a person because I'm a friendly person and I saw you as a human being who I wanted to be nice to. And I thought you were being nice to me because you're a nice person. And we live in a society where we all have to get through this shit. But when I see that you were just being nice to me because you hoped money was on the other end, like a buck, like a dollar, you were being nice to me for a dollar. Well, now I just found out what you're worth. You're the shitbag.
Good service, good tip, Gary said. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying that like at a counter service, like if I
Yeah.
walk up to, like when I was at Pokey the last 2 days, I was getting Pokey and I walk up, I tell them what I want. It's like a Chipotle kind of thing. You walk down the aisle, and they put in what you want and then they hand it to you. Well, great. Thank you. I assume you're getting paid by the hour. I think it'd be very strange if you were here just to, on tips alone. That would be bizarre. But yeah, you did some work. I did some work. I had to stand here and walk you through the process. If I have to go into a kitchen and walk the cook through what I'm going to eat, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, uh,
Yeah.
I think it's weird because sometimes you'll see, sometimes the smile drops off, and I'm like, you know what? You're a prostitute. You think
Okay.
you think you're a
Jesus,
barista.
Paul.
I think you're a prostitute because you sell your service. Your service is only here for sale. You are trying to show me a good time if I pay for it, and if I don't pay you for it, then you don't like me. Well, you know what? That's terrible. And that brings us back to the transaction that this is. Give me my food. Tell me how much I owe you. It'll be that amount. Then I'm
This
going to go
rem-
sit and eat it, and I'm going to enjoy it.
this reminds me of that scene from The Sopranos. I don't know if you ever watched that episode
I don't
where
know.
there's a
Great
bunch of
show.
them, 10 people. The bill comes out and it's I think $1,500.
Sure.
And the Chrissy, one of the characters, gives him a $15 tip. So the waiter comes out to the parking lot and goes, "I'm sorry, did you make a mistake? You only gave me $15 tip." And they were arguing at the time. He go, "Get the hell out of here. That's what you got." Even though the guy did a great job, they were just being a pain in the ass. And the
Yeah.
guys, and then the waiter says, "You don't know how hard this job is. I have 3 kids, and go fuck yourself." So the soprano characters push Paulie and Chrissy take a rock and kill the guy. And he dies there. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it can't ever be that bad. Where that's what you were talking about, reminded me of that. But anyway, to get to your point, I like I said, I tip because I feel guilty. When they put a sandwich together at a Jersey Mike's or a Subway, whatever, Chipotle, do I need to give them a tip? No, but
But what is the guilt, Chrissy?
huh?
What is the guilt? Can you tell, like what, in what way do you feel guilty?
Because I'm standing there, I give them my credit card and it pops up on the screen
Right.
5, 10, 15%. And I'm
Yep.
looking at and the guy's right there. And I'm like, am I gonna hit no tip? He's standing right there. I feel bad. And then he looks at it, he goes, oh, thank you so much. I mean, I feel good I did that. He feels good. I've never not tipped, so I don't know what they're gonna say to me.
Really?
Like, really, buddy, next time I'm putting spit in your salami. I don't know. I get nervous.
So you tip because you're afraid he might not like you. He might judge
No,
you.
no,
I'm,
it's
I
not
mean, I'm
that
just trying to break down the guilt because I
right. No,
understand the
no,
guilt. It is a guilt-based transaction. This
it
has
is.
nothing to do with the food. This is a guilt-based
Yeah,
transaction, and you are nailing it on the head.
yeah,
You are in the same situation as everyone else, including our venter. This isn't because you're like, holy shit, no one's ever made a Subway sandwich like that. God damn. The meat is portioned, the cheese is portioned, all the other shit is free. You didn't hook me up.
yeah.
You didn't give me anything that was outside of your purview. So why would I hook you up? You gave me what you were supposed to.
I know.
I'm
It's
giving you what I'm supposed to. We don't have to be friends. You want to be friends? I'll buy you a coffee. You buy me a coffee. Sure. But right now, Chrissy, don't give into the guilt,
I
goddammit.
know.
Because
I know.
what does the
I know.
guilt otherwise mean? If it's not about you potentially being seen as a lesser person by someone you don't know who works in food service with rubber gloves and a fucking hat, who cares what that person thinks of you? Who cares what that person thinks
I
of
know.
you? If they're gonna
I understand the logic and I agree with the logic and you're 100% right. I can't help it. I suffer from that.
The only other opportunity for guilt, Chrissy, is that you feel bad that this person is at this place in life and you think lowly or lesser of their job, which I'm not going to judge them in that way. That's why I don't tip them because
Oh,
I think their job sounds great. I think their job,
but
they chose it for a reason, and I'm sure they decided it paid well enough. And so I'm not going to insult them by throwing extra money like they were homeless on the street with a cup saying, oh, you must need my change because you're not getting there in life. I say, I get confidence in your decision. I bet you chose this job because you love the smell of the shredded lettuce. You know what?
Okay.
I'm not tipping you because I respect you, out of respect, because you look like someone who's got a good handle on life. I've always said, we can close this. I don't know if I've said it on the last one. I want to invent the Tip Me app where when you get to the counter and they spin the little thing around for you to,
Yeah.
awkwardly be guilted into a tip, I want to be able to hand them my phone where they can just tap their credit card and it's the tip app and they go, what the hell is this? I go, well, it's to be able to tip me. Like I was really nice in line, wasn't I? I didn't give you a hard time. I didn't give
You're
you a complicated order. I was friendly. I smiled. And so I would love to give you the opportunity to tip me for it. And they go, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You just come in and don't be an asshole and just try to get a normal order and then pay for it. You go, yeah. See, that's what I thought of you. That's what I thought of you. You were just doing what you're supposed to. So should either of us be tipping each other? Because if one should be tipping, so should the other. I'm a nice guy and I smiled. I made your day better. And if that isn't worth money to you, don't be upset if my smile falls off, just like your will, when I don't tip you back.
okay, venters and listeners. What do you think of Paul's idea that it's a reciprocal tip? The
Yeah.
person standing in line gets a tip because they were a good customer, and the person serving you gets a tip. I'd like to hear what people think about that. I love this idea.
Why not just, I think we should all
Reciprocal.
have the tip app. Like what if you run into someone, say you're not even talking to the barista, you're just having coffee at a coffee shop. The guy next to you starts a conversation about your Boston hat or whatever. And you go, yeah, we go back and forth. And then afterward you go, yeah, anyway, just when it's time to stop talking, you just hand him your phone. He goes, the hell is this? And you go, that was a nice conversation, wasn't it? Wasn't that nice? Did I make your day a little better? I don't know. What's that worth? $2, $5, or 10? It's preset. Why don't we all just start asking everybody for tips?
I
Everybody. Cops pull you over, give you a fucking ticket for speeding. It's $300. But at the end, he pulls out his phone and goes, hey, I could have been a lot ruder, right? Isn't it funny that I cracked that one joke that made you think you were getting out of the ticket? Wasn't that cool? Yeah, I'm one of the nicest cops. 20, 50, or 100. How much would you like to tip me today for being less of a prick than I could have been? What the fuck? We should, Chrissy, we're doing this. Let's start a vent
Yeah,
this
let's
tip
let's
app.
start this. Venters, listeners,
Yeah.
please chime in on what you think of Paul's idea. I
Yeah,
love
let's
it.
all get tips. Let's
Yeah,
let's all get you know what? That's how if you can't beat them, join them. Let's
I'm
get
with
everyone
you.
to tip us.
All
Oh, you
right,
laughed at my joke? How about $4?
let's move on to the comments. All right, comment
We're
number
doing this.
one. This week's vents are hilarious. We had a good show with this week. With the
That one
smelly
time.
feet, huh? Yeah. Paul and Chris are a good combo. Chris makes the funniest faces. And you can see Paul push away from his mic when he's fired up. It's like, wait for it. LOL. That's hilarious. That's exactly what you do, Paul.
It's a good observation. It is.
I
It's like
love that.
I'm winding up for a haymaker punch. If you see me lean back in fury, God help you. The
Wait for
wrath
it.
is on its way. Sound engineer Gary just did the like big ready for the big gust. Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. Listen to
It's a good
this.
listener.
Comment number two. Paul is always talking to Gary. Who is that? And why can't we see Gary?
You know what? As they say this, you know what? You know who Gary is? Gary is the mirror of Loretta.
He's like the Oz. He's
I was
behind the
just going to say,
curtain.
he's the
You know,
man. Chrissy, you took the word out of my mouth. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right, comment
What
number
if,
three.
wait, I just want that. What if people were to find out that I just commonly refer to sound engineer Gary in normal conversation? Like if I'm talking to someone in the street, and I'm like, so it says something about, I'm like, hey, sound engineer Gary, what do you think of that? People are like, what the hell did this loony do? It's worse than speaking in the third person. I just asked an audience member in the fourth wall what they thought. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try it on someone.
Do it. Let us know. Videotape it so we can see it. Okay, here's comment number three. I heard the podcast where a drone is flying over somebody's pool.
Mm.
We here in the Midwest don't have such bold neighbors. California is just like what you see in the movies, out of this world. Well, that might be true, but I mean,
Oh, 100%. No, Chris, you got to admit, it's fascinating what good weather will attract. It
yeah.
attracts bugs like a mosquito zapper. This place is filled with psychos and lunatics. It's like, oh, it's beautiful in pictures. Yeah, when you picture just the part without people in it. That's what's so great about California. The landscaping when there's people not in the picture. Once you see the people it attracts, you go, oh God, I'd rather. It's like you'd rather watch most sporting events from your big screen at home than actually wade through the filth that parks in the air. You know what I mean? Oh, come on. It's just like that. We do. I always say there was this game when I was a kid, the wooden game Labyrinth. Did you guys ever play that?
I've
You
heard
had
of it.
Yeah, you had a handle on each side, and you had to try to roll a marble into a hole without it. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like you took all the weirdos in the country and you just funneled them down into L.A. So people, I was surprised you balked at that, Chrissy, because this person from the Midwest, they live in reasonable sanity, I bet, and
Probably.
we don't even realize it because we're here so often, we're here
Yeah.
so much. We live in the land of Looney Tunes, for sure. And I bet we sound crazy at times. We don't even realize it to people who don't live here.
That's probably true, actually. I mean, I think now I fit into that. When I grew up on the East Coast, I used to think California was a wacky place. And when I first moved here, I'm like, did that just happen? But now I've been here for so long. I've been here for so long that I sort of just, nothing surprises me. So I guess,
Yeah,
yeah, we do have a lot of, yeah, we have our own reality, Gary's saying. Yeah, we
100%.
sure do. Yeah. Okay.
Well, like, and on that other episode, when you were talking about, you asked the homeless guy, if he had a microwave in his tent, you said that like you were asking someone what time it is in a grocery store,
You're right.
like it was just so, of course, that's what I would do. I was
Yeah.
curious, it was interesting, but to anyone else in the world, they're like, hold on, you have so many homeless people that you have people in tents with microwaves and you were like, yeah, so I asked the homeless guy.
You're right.
So
It's
I think
become
we've,
second nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
second nature, which is our own reality. Anyway,
Well, you want to wrap us up, Paul?
it's
Polly?
so much fun.
I know.
I'd rather just keep going. What am I going to do after this? Go change diapers? God damn it. You know, I don't want to wrap it up. This may be the most fun my week gets, but we will. We will, Chrissy. You
Yeah.
wanna bring it home because you're better with the
Sure.
phone number than I am?
Yes, everybody, write us
There he is.
on our website, all your events, or call us at 818-570-2535. Really leave a vent too on our website. There's a box that you can write in. It gets sent to us. We read them on the air. So we encourage you to do that and watch us on YouTube. We're Paul's really funny. I'm not that funny, but Paul's really funny.
Oh, come on, it's a duo. It's actually a trio with the elusive sound engineer Gary
And don't forget
as the man
Loretta.
behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Or don't forget Loretta doesn't exist. Either one, but whatever. Okay.
And coming up on our future podcast, we have some really fun guests that we want to share with you guys. So stay tuned, watch us. We love you. Everybody take care of each other. And I'm going to sign out.
Get vent.
Get Vent. Toodles.
Toodaloo.